setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad that you've joined me. This is a Thursday. It's Thursday. For some reason, I'm a day ahead. What can I say? So what is the conversation going to be about today? Well, it's probably something that you may not have thought about, but I hope that you have, because it affects all of us if you work in a office or a business. And the way it affects us is that we all have our political opinions. We all know how we believe. We all know how we view things. It's our political opinions. The problem is that the other person in the next cubicle may not have those same political opinions. And the reason why this came up is because I am getting mediation requests to deal with workplace issues, a conflict, disputes within businesses. And it seems to be in smaller businesses. So on Saturday, I received this request to mediate. And they sent it to me. And in their description, I always ask for additional details. So this is what they said. I am having an employee emergency. One of my longest employees adopt some conservative views, comma. And there are a couple other employees that want him fired because of this. I want to try and solve this and move forward without anyone being let go. I feel like I need a non-biased person to mediate. So obviously there is a political issue within the office. Not a company political issue, but a political issue. You have one conservative employee, and you've got two liberals on the other side who don't like what he has to stand for, what he believes in, and they want him fired. They want him gone. One of our longest and loyal employees. So we see this when politics gets discussed in the office. We're going to see conflict like this. And let me tell you, this is probably one of the most dirtiest, most corrupt, most evil, most name-calling, most racial, political elections that we will ever have in this nation. We literally have people on the streets demonstrating and trying to take out the president. That's his soul. That's his sole goal. But the problem is that it's now creeped into the office place where there are certain believers who don't believe in what you believe, and they want you fired. And that's going to happen more and more. It's happening at Facebook. It happens at Twitter. If you do not toe the line with how they believe, they do a political axing. They lynched you, and now you're gone. Now, can these items be resolved? Yes, they can be resolved. Will I mediate this one? No, probably not, because it's way up in Berkeley, and I suggested that they get a local mediator to sit down with them, because it literally needs to be a sit down. I don't even want it to be a virtual mediation. It's got to be a sit down where the people are talking to each other and they're resolving their own issues together. Now, if the hate is too strong politically, if the political hate is too strong, it may take a couple of sessions to do it. But if people are willing to go into a mediation And with an open mind of how to resolve these things, it can be resolved. I joked around today. I was doing a vlog, and I said, in my company, I do not allow political discussions in my office, but I'm the only one in my office who I'm going to talk to. But let me tell you, this political stuff is becoming very hateful. Individuals are feeling the drain, the political drain of hate. And there's got to be some discussion within companies on how to resolve these issues and how to make the workplace a more inviting experience instead of a political hate experience. In this world, we have all kinds of people who think differently. They all think differently. And there are people with the label of liberals. There are people with the label of conservative. There are people, and we could go on with a whole bunch of lists of names or labels that people want to identify to. But when you're within a company, you have to realize that your political beliefs should really be left at the door. Because there's going to be somebody who does not agree with you, and that's going to cause a conflict and a dispute. And then not only does that affect the two of you, but then it affects the whole bunch of you. Conflict and disputes create a situation where productivity goes down, profitability goes down, the ability to be imaginative goes down. You're afraid to say anything, so the communications goes cold. And that's not what you want within a company or a business. So the best approach is what this lady wants to do, and I commend her and I give her brownie points for it, is that she wants to bring in a third party, a mediator, to resolve the issue. She can't do it because she's too involved in it. But she needs somebody that's not biased, because she can see almost everybody's views, because she wants them to stay because they're considered good workers. So, a mediator has to come in. Now, I don't know if you've ever sat in a workplace mediation before, but it's a very good experience. Because all of a sudden you hear both sides and how they think about each other, and then the mediator leads them to a unification almost, where they're talking about how they can build or how they can make it better, and then pretty soon they're right back on the team again. There's no longer a divide. That's what a good mediator does. But if hate is so strong, and we see hate on the street every single day, everything's being taken down or destroyed or spray painted or burnt down or pounded into the ground, there's destruction and hate going on all around us, with people getting hit by another person because they don't believe in what they say. Workplace violence can be developed from politics. And that's where we have to stop. I mean, listen, you guys aren't in Congress. When you're in Congress, you get to fight every single day, and you get to argue, and you get to call each other names and everything else. That's what they do there. Should they be doing it? No, they should be working together. But politicians are stupid, so we don't really care about them. Because so far, they've done nothing to help us. But when we're working at a company, it is a team environment where all of you are working together to make that company better and to grow. And there's got to be that creativity of the thought process and the speaking process and the communication process and the writing process of how do we make our company creative and grow. But when there is political hate or any kind of a workplace dispute, that ends, because it affects not just the 2 people or 3 people that are involved in the dispute, the conflict. It involves everybody around them. Because everybody's afraid to take sides. Everybody's afraid to say anything. So a mediator has to come in and set the 2 or 3 people down and have a very good, frank discussion. That's what political hate does. It affects not just the outside, but it affects those of us working in office situations where we are supposed to be a team. So, I want you to realize that in some states, California example, and I don't know why they're not pushing their own laws there, because they don't believe in the rule of law, but the state of California, as an example, has labor laws that says you cannot retaliate or discriminate against people who think differently politically than you do. You can't do it. And I'm hoping that they're enforcing those laws, because it's vital at this period of time when everything is so divisive politically. All of those who own businesses out there, I would highly discourage political discussions within the office place. I would highly suggest that you not endorse candidates as a company. I would highly suggest that when you're having a conversation with a friend there, don't even go to politics. If you want to do it outside the office, fine. But if you're going to disrupt the workplace because one individual doesn't believe the same way that you do, and you want that person fired, you've just created chaos, you've just created disruption in that office. And those of you who own businesses, you've got to take this very seriously, because over the next few months, it's going to get downright dirty everywhere. And if you can keep it out of the office, you will have a productive office. If you allow it to seep in, then everybody around that dispute or conflict is affected also. I really want you to think about this. Are you a team player, or do you want only your opinion to matter over everybody else's? Because if you do, maybe it would be better that you not be there. But if you want to have an honest to goodness conversation and express your views, bring in a mediator. Because then the mediator can keep it in line. And people are willing to open up and talk. Because when you end it, you don't want people to have hurt feelings. And you don't want people to go to that next level of office violence. Discuss it. Get it done early. Make sure that the employees understand that if they have an issue, that you can bring in a mediator and resolve the issue or the conflict. And maybe it's even good to bring in a mediator to teach people exactly how to respond to hate and how to respond to attacks within the workplace. So I thought I would bring that up. I just thought it was such an interesting request for mediation, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be more and more and more. Let me read it to you again. It says, I am having an employee emergency. One of my longest employees adopts some conservative views, and there are a couple other employees that want him fired because of this. So when people start trying to shut down how other people think, then that's going to create a lot of conflict within the office. Not just between the 3 people that she mentions here, but between everybody in that office. So listen, if you need help, send me a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. And I'll arrange a situation. I'll arrange a session, not a situation, but a session. and we'll sit down and we will talk about political conflict within an office. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. I hope everybody is having a great day. No political conflicts. When you walk into that office, put your politics to the side. But if you really are having a political conflict within the office, let me know. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you very soon. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.